You can't. Are you guys fucking with me? The OBS says they're going through. Oh, they're fucking with me. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I think they're fucking with you because I just played the stream back and it sounds like they can hear us.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
That
Awesome.
is a classic chat move.
Yes,
So.
awesome. Okay, with that, I'm going to give the mic first to Dev to make his case for court packing, and then we're going to let Ryan have his opening statement, and then we're going to get into it. Dev, go ahead.
Okay, well, if you've seen my
Video,
my video
which
on
we all
court
watched
packing,
today.
you already know my stance, but the TLDR of it is, I think that justice needs to be done upon the Republicans for them stealing the Supreme Court pick under Obama. It's as simple as that. Short and sweet.
Okay, well,
Okay.
great.
Since it was so short, can I ask some clarifying questions?
Sure.
Oh, Daniel is now tweeting out, are people really this stupid? Do they believe it? Uh-oh. Was the original tweet? Is there anybody that archived the original tweet? Because everybody's trying to say now that there was no original tweet and that link goes to something different. Is there an archive or a Wayback Machine or whatever? People took videos of it. Yeah, but if there was an archive, that would just be perfect, like a Wayback Machine link. In a now deleted post by Daniel Cormier, Eric Trump DM'd him. And yeah, I see this, but is this tweet right here that he took a screenshot of? Is there a Wayback Machine or an Internet Archive of it? Oh, now he's saying it's deleted. Because what if this guy's account got hacked? Best video, no Wayback link yet. If multiple people are posting videos, then well, but wait, this is just the same. It's just a repost of that one guy's video, right? Uh-oh.
Just before because I don't want to talk about things that don't matter. You offered some other rationales in your video, but you're sticking to just that one tonight.
Well, the other rationales they're not as important as this one.
Okay,
Like,
no,
if those rationales didn't exist, this one would still be important. This would still carry it as well. Because I think the other rationales were like the 13 circuits and the the English common law tradition, and that should be important to conservatives who want to conserve tradition, but it's not the main point.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. These are the points you want to talk about that I'm not gonna bother addressing.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
So okay, yeah, I mean, I think that's the heart of it in the spirit of keeping this short and sweet. I've been on Wick's show and taken the position that what the Republicans did with Merrick Garland was a norms violation and problematic as such. So I'm not walking that back. I've always thought that was a problem, even though I liked the justice that came out of it. Like that doesn't make it not a norm violation. The problem with court packing is
it's a
court
much
packing
bigger
opens, and by court packing I mean adding seats to the Supreme Court. Opens a can of worms that what McConnell and the Republicans did does not open,
really?
Which is the risk of kind of like infinite regression. Where
the funny thing about him saying that is that this opens a can of worms that the other guys didn't. Why are we talking about this right now? Because the other guys did open the can of worms. That's why we're talking about this. But somehow they didn't open the can of worms. This is the child-adult thing again. Like, well, hold on. If you guys do this, shit's going to get fucked. And it's like, but didn't shit get fucked when you guys did this? Well, yeah. But, like, it's going to get, like, really fucked if you guys do it, though. I'm like, what? Excuse me? What?
You just keep adding to the Supreme Court and you get up into a cycle of reprisals. And while we've lost a lot of norms in our country over the last 15, 20 years, there are some norms that I would call load-bearing norms, meaning they are the sort of norms that they actually do hold up the entire constitutional order.
Load-bearing norms that hold up the entire constitutional order like a thing that is enshrined in law and is not even in the Constitution. The number of fucking Supreme Court judges. Oh my God. Oh my God.
There's a lot of them that you can lose. Like, it turns out you can open the door to partisan gerrymandering, and I don't think it's going to destroy the country. This one's a load-bearing norm. If we open this can of worms, I'm not sure how we recover, and I can get into the reasons why I think this is very different. And because of that, if the Republicans, for example, did to the Democrats what the Republicans did to them, and withheld advice and consent from a nominee for purely partisan reasons, I'd say, man, I said it was a bad thing when the Republicans did it. I'm going to say it's a bad thing when the Democrats do it, but I understand tit for tat. I get it. I understand why they're doing that. But this is a court packing would be both an escalation and one which would lead us into a situation that would fundamentally risk the country in a way that very few.
Also, he'll never admit this, of course, because Republicans can't. Just so you know, the reason why he's okay with a tit for tat kind of on the on us stealing a Supreme Court justice from them is because realistically, it's not going to matter. They have a 6-3 court right now. if we manage to maybe kind of sort of steal one in the future, maybe we flip it to like a 5-4 court. They still have a majority, right? So he doesn't really care that much. Now, if this was a 5-4 court already, he would not have that opinion. Guaranteed. He's always okay with the Republicans leading with the big norm violations. He's not okay with the Dems doing it. Like, I think an interesting question for him would be, instead of saying that you're not okay with the Democrats court packing, can you say something that you are okay with the Democrats aggressing with? Because them stealing a Supreme Court pick, McConnell stealing a Supreme Court pick, that was upping the ante. So what can Democrats do to up the ante? Not just the same thing back. What can they do to up the ante?
Policy proposals or norm violations could. And that's the reason why court packing must be rejected. And I have no reason to believe that you support kind of the broader constellation of policies that I took issue with PSCO for, so I'm not going to talk about those unless you like.
Which policies were those? Just so I'm clear.
Oh, the broader constellation that kind of led to the confrontation I had with Pisco was he supports breaking the filibuster, which means that you could pack the court with 51 votes instead of 60.
Based.
Then packing the court to 13.
Based.
Then packing the Senate by recognizing additional states that would be reliant on Democratic votes,
Based.
which you can do without amending the Constitution. If you break the filibuster, it's just a bare majority.
Based.
Which would essentially lock the Republicans out of power and allow appointing of like essentially judges who could, I don't think Pisco would admit this point, but who could or would rewrite the Constitution from the bench because there'd be nothing Republicans could do about it. So that broader constellation of policies is much, much worse than even just court packing is. And if I think court packing is very bad, that one's well out of bounds. And I would say the position that Pisco holds is akin to the position that John Eastman held about Mike Pence deciding the presidential election.
Oh my God!
Which is, I think, inappropriate position for a lawyer to hold.
Okay.
But I have no reason to believe that you support all of that.
Right. I mean, I don't really know Pisco that well. I've talked to him a handful of times. I wouldn't necessarily say that we're politically aligned because I think he gives far too much deference to some of the communists in his midst, and I think that's a problem. However, when it comes to this stuff, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. And you know what? The only question I really have, that's kind of on the tip of my tongue, is if the Democrats were to pack the court, is that illegal?
No, it's not illegal. That's not the question.
How is it
That's my question,
load
right?
bearing?
Well, it is my question though. And that's why I'm.
Yeah, it's not illegal.
Right. So what's the problem?
Okay. Well,
I mean, they can do it, right?
yeah, but how about this? It's legal for everyone to do it. So, for example, the Republicans have, if they wanted to, they have the political power tomorrow to do the following. They could break the filibuster, then use the broken filibuster. There's an island, or a few islands that are disputed between Mexico and Texas. They're in the Gulf. You know what those look like to me? A state. Recognize those islands as a state with like 15 people. Now they had extra votes in the Senate. Pack the Supreme Court to 13 or 15 or 17 or whatever the number is. They could appoint any justices they wanted. Justice Mike Lindell, Justice Alex Jones. Like there's no constitutional limit on who they could appoint. And the Democrats have no numeric ability to stop them from doing it. They could do whatever they wanted. And you know what? If you took all those steps, it would be 20 years before the Democrats could regain power because of how badly you would reshape the political map. I would call that overtly tyrannical and a problem. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a bad thing to do. But I don't think it's better if the Democrats plan to do it. I think it's a bad thing to do. So, I mean, I guess my question is, it's legal for the Republicans to do that. Is the legality something that makes you think that it's a thing we should support?
At this point, I think so, yeah, because the Republicans have behaved absolutely fucking terribly, and they need to be completely fought with every possible measure. So here's the thing.
Well,
I
just to
actually
be clear,
don't
his
believe-
question
I'm
was,
gonna-
his question
I'm
was,
gonna answer,
do you
I'm
think
gonna
that,
answer.
okay.
Okay, so because you said that the Republicans currently have the political will to do this. I don't
No,
believe they do.
I didn't say they have the political will. I said they have the political power.
Okay, right. Well, similar enough. I don't think they actually
No,
do.
that's totally different.
No, okay, hear me out. Because if they actually did, they would have. All right? I believe that yes.
You're fundamentally...
Let Dev finish his statement, though. Go ahead. What do you believe, Dev, please?
So, like a couple of days ago, maybe it was a week ago, I don't remember the exact timeline, but Trump straight up said on his Truth Social that he wants to turn the SAVE Act into an omnibus bill. He's ordering the Republicans to get rid of the filibuster themselves. Trump's issuing all these orders. He wants this shit done. And it turns out that even though the Republicans actually hold all these offices and all these seats, he doesn't actually have enough of a coalition to order the Senate to do what he wants. If he did, the Republicans would be doing it right now. So I don't actually believe this point of yours that, the Republicans could do this. No, they can't.
No,
they cannot.
Dev, your question is why I said you misunderstood me. I said politically they have the power, meaning if they had the will, it is legal for them to do everything I just said. It would not be illegal. Yeah. They could do it. You asked me earlier, you said my question is it legal? And if it's legal, the implication was that it's okay. And I'm saying that it is legal for the Republicans to do a vastly tyrannical scheme that would lock Democrats out of power for a generation at least. Do you think it's a good thing for them to do it? They ought to do it just because it's legal.
I mean, no, but that's because the Republicans actually are a tyrannical power at this point in the United States Republic.
What?
Yes, they absolutely are.
This would make Democrats tyrannical.
There are two different moral standards here.
But Dev, the Republicans, as you just pointed out,
aren't doing
though they
this.
have the political power, are not doing this.
Because they don't need
so
to.
The very same scheme that Pisco is laying out, this kind of like grander scheme, is something they could choose to do. But
They already
are
have
not
the
doing it
power. They already own the
because
Supreme
it's
Court. They
such
don't
a
need to.
dangerous norm violation
No.
and because it's so
No.
overtly tyrannical. So saying that the Democrats should do something that's so tyrannical that the evil quote-unquote barbarian Republicans won't do it is kind of a weird point. Like, how can you fight tyranny and fascism by doing a thing that's so awful that even your political enemies who you think are limitless in their deprivation won't do?
Listen, they're not choosing not to do it because it's a norm violation. They're not doing it because they can't. That's really it.
They don't
Trump
need to.
can't get the votes together to do all the things he's
Why
been asking
can't he?
Republicans
Because
to
they
do.
already control the
Why
Supreme
can't he?
Court.
Because there's just enough Republicans who understand that basically their entire side of the aisle is rotten down to the core.
No,
And
that's not
even though
why.
they're cowards,
No.
They're hoping if they just keep their eyes closed until Trump leaves office, hopefully in 2029, that things will go back to normal. Unfortunately, things won't go back to normal until the Republicans have been punished for all of the things they've done.
So the irony of this, right, is that, you know, you are saying that the Democrats should do something that the evil Republicans
Won't
in
even
your
do.
mind won't do because some of the Republicans think it's a very bad and dangerous idea, even if it's not all of them. Now, I could quibble with you, but even if I just accept your articulation of why the Republicans aren't doing it, that means you are advocating for a step
That even the
is so
Republicans won't do,
tyrannical
that you say are evil.
Even the Republicans who
It's-
you despise won't do it. It doesn't strike you as a problem to advocate for your side to do something that's so
Please,
tyrannical
Deb,
that the other,
please.
that
Don't
the
let
other
him get away
side
with this
that
point.
You hate and despise won't touch?
You had your hand up, Wick? Did you?
No, answer that question and then.
Sure. It's mainly because the Republicans, they just don't have to do these extreme things.
Because they already have
they
the-
already hold
Thank
all the
you.
levers of power.
That's why.
Trump's still doing tons
Well,
of
just- and they
ridiculous
have the Supreme
bullshit
Court.
without stepping up to these extremes. The Republicans don't have to do this stuff to do all the institutional damage they're currently doing to the United
Kind
States.
of. Close
Oh
enough.
no, but if they did this, they could do all kinds of stuff. They could pass the SAVE Act. They could do all kinds of alterations to the way that voting is done in the country.
Like getting
They
rid of the
could
Section
bring
2 of the
just-
Voting Rights Act? Like making it so that gerrymandering is literally, gerrymandering for political purposes now an enshrined Supreme Court opinion, and they did that on the back of axing the second part of the Voting Rights Act. They are... Why am I... Okay, sorry. I have 12 more minutes to stream. I hate listening to this fucking... This fraud fuck. Dude, I hate this guy so much. It's okay. I don't know why it's quiet. Blame Wick. I don't know... You guys don't cry anywhere near enough in other people's fucking streams, okay? I don't know why it's so quiet.
Judges who are going to interpret the Constitution more consistently in favor of Trump. He lost the National Guard case. He lost the tariff case. He lost the abortion pill case. Those things could all be fixed with court packing. He could
Which is why Trump is trying to push it. Yes. And
He's not
actually,
he is. He
literally posted
the-
several
the-
times that
the-
he wants them to do this.
The plan that I outlined, which was much more extreme than just filibuster, the nuke the filibuster. It was nuke the filibuster, expand the Senate and pack the Senate by adding states for partisan purposes, pack the Supreme Court with justices who are going to do what you want them to do, plus extra stuff that we could get into. That is a extraordinarily extreme tyrannical view. And by your own admission earlier, you said the Republicans aren't doing it. So yes, the Republicans aren't doing it because it's tyrannical. I don't think you can have it both ways. I don't think you can both say the Republicans aren't doing it because they know it's tyrannical, they're not going to do it, and the Republicans are currently doing it because President Trump said something about the filibuster. I think that you, like, what I'm trying to square up for you is that this package that you are endorsing, I'm surprised you're endorsing it because it's a crazy thing to endorse, but this package that you have opted to endorse is so vile. It is
my
literally
God,
the
this is
end
like the
of
dumbest
democracy.
possible
It's a
fucking
recipe
way that he
for
could
one-party
fucking
power,
have the
and
stupid
nobody
fucking argument.
should co-sign on this. It's a crazy thing to co-sign on.
Ryan, your democracy is already done. All right? It's over at this point. You have a vice president who's currently in office who said he would have listened to the Eastman Plan. All right? So as soon as the next presidential election happens, you're going to have Vance in that seat,
What's catching up?
and he's going to be presented probably with more false slates of electors, and he's going to be like, oh, well, I don't know, but maybe I should actually follow the plan this time. Things are already at that point, okay? Okay. I've watched some of your stuff, and I have no idea how you don't understand this. Maybe you just kind of live in La La Land or something. I don't know, but things are already
God, I
cooked.
missed.
All right, it's done. At this point, the Democrats must simply lock the Republicans out of power for a generation. Okay, it has to happen. Until MAGA is ripped out of the American Republic, root and stem, there can be no peace.
Okay, so if that is the position, and this is what I've been saying for the longest time, which is that, like, I don't think we're
Rob
there.
loses his mind over
I
being disparate.
actually am much
Hammers the
more
shit out of his
optimistic
keyboard
about
while
the
typing
resilience
angry
of our
things while they're
Republican
on
and the
stream.
resilience of the people of our
44-minute video
Constitution.
link. Thank
But
you,
if
Akilo.
we are where you say we are, which is a crazy fucking thing to say publicly, but if we are where you say we are, then why complain about norm violations at all? Like,
Who?
what's a
What do you
norm
mean?
if we're at the black
Who
pill end
complains? We
zone
already
of
expect you
end
fucking
time,
losers to do
where
it.
people are just going to be doing
No one
open
cares
partisan
anymore.
warfare
No one
with
brings
limits
it. It's like,
forever.
oh,
Who
there
gives
they
a
are
fuck about
again.
norms at that point? Why shouldn't the Republicans do all these things I've outlined? Because they have political power right now. Like, if only for expediency, like if only for your own self-preservation, isn't it kind of dumb to say that publicly?
Oh my
because if
God.
the Republicans believed you, if the Republicans believed the thing you just said, then it would be totally rational for them to do the most tyrannical, diabolical things imaginable, and there's fuck all the Democrats can do about it. They have no power to stop it. So I guess I'm saying, what is the point you're making here? Like, you seem to be advocating for the Republicans to do the thing that you hope they don't do.
Well, no, I'm not advocating for that because the Republicans are bad and the Democrats are good. The Democrats should take power back and do the right thing.
Okay.
The Republicans shouldn't. But hold on, this is a moral argument. I mentioned legality before specifically because yes, the Republicans can do all these things, and it would be rational for them in their position to do all these things. But I don't need to care about what's rational for the Republican position because the Republicans are moral lepers. They
So
do simply need to be
Based.
crushed. That's that.
True.
Yes.
So your
Based.
position
Trend-based.
is simply
Trend-based.
rule for thee, not for me.
Yep.
That's what your position boils down to.
I mean, in the way that an aggressor shouldn't.
What
use
I said this before. I have to memorize like a snappy way to say this, but like don't ever come at me with rules that you don't follow ever. I don't ever for the rest of my life, I do not ever want somebody to criticize me ever for a rule that they think I'm not following that they don't follow. I don't give a fuck about appeals to hypocrisy or whatever fucking bullshit. You do not have the right to bring that issue up ever. Get the fuck out. Don't ever let somebody do this to you. It's so cringe. It's so fucking cringe. This is subhuman behavior.
using violence, but a defender should. Yes.
Okay. Well, if your position is that the Democrats get to be tyrannical because Republicans bad, but the Republicans ought not be tyrannical because Republicans bad, which seems to be your position, you might see why I call that tyrannical during modern day debate. By the way, I appreciate the candor. I think that is the position. I think Peace goes too chicken shit to admit it, but that is the position, and I appreciate you being honest about it. But that's why I called it tyrannical on modern day debate, because it is. It is an overt call to tyrannical imposition of power of one side against the other, and I actually don't even hear you disagreeing with that. I think you agree with that. It's just you think it's good to do tyrannical things.
It's tyrannical in the sense that the American revolutionaries were tyrannical against the British when they threw them off.
No,
That's a wild statement, but your point
No,
is
it's absolutely okay. Okay, you're an educated man. I'm sure you've read the Constitution. I'm sure you've
barely.
read at least some of the Federalist Papers, right?
Probably not.
there's a good chance.
Of course, yes. Now, what was the purpose of the Second Amendment?
You don't need to go to the Second Amendment. Go to the Declaration. It's better.
No. I'm going to the Second Amendment because I actually like this one. Because you know what? I've hung out in so many libertarian spaces, and during COVID and even before, you had like these memes, and it was like George Washington wearing sunglasses, and he's like, if it were me and my homies, we'd be stacking bodies right by now. And I totally respected those memes because they were honest and straightforward, and they made no qualms about it. The Second Amendment is for shooting tyrants.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
but
it's for.
that's why I say you don't need to go to the Second Amendment. You go to the Declaration.
Okay, but the Declaration of Independence is not part of our law, whatever. It
Says,
doesn't matter. Who cares?
to secure these rights, meaning our natural rights, our God-given rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Wow, epic.
Right.
It does go on.
And
to say-
I just want to make it clear, we've taken a little bit of a turn from court packing, and now we have entered another territory. If you guys want to continue in this territory, we can.
But I actually think this is illuminating because I think people who watch my stream know why I did what I did in the modern day debate. But I think this is actually a good explanation of why I did what I did in the modern day debate. And with Peace Code, because the reason is when somebody approaches you and says, I think I am justified in imposing tyrannical power upon you.
Which is what all the
correct
Republicans do, by the
response
way.
is not,
That's what all
"Let
the
me see
Republicans
your
do, by the way.
syllogism. Let's talk about your argument. The correct response is "get fucked, tyrant." Right? There it is not logical to engage in logical debate with somebody who wants to tyrannize you. And Dev, I appreciate your honesty, but all I'm hearing from you is that you feel justified in tyrannizing people who believe the things that I believe.
No, the issue is that Trump is the tyrant. He is the one currently
says
doing
you.
the tyranny.
Says you.
Yes, and I'm
Says
correct.
you.
Says
Who's
me,
to
I'm
say?
correct.
Couldn't we all disagree?
Okay,
Remember I said at the beginning of the stream?
okay,
Who
okay,
says who?
okay,
Anybody could be
Well,
that.
Well, let Dev go for it.
Anybody
Let
could be
Dev
that.
go for
Well,
it.
There's no fact
we
of the matter.
both agree
Anybody
Trump
could
tried
be.
to steal 2020, right? Like that's not in debate at all. We both agree.
Did he try
on
to
this?
steal 2020? I don't know.
Yeah, I've never defended Trump with the false slate of electors scheme. In fact,
Yeah.
Actually, do you know my voting history? I just to make it might be helpful.
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen about your stuff. Yeah.
I vastly preferred Trump in 2024, but did not vote for him because of
Oh
the
my God.
Eastman stuff.
Vastly preferred Trump in
So
2024.
that makes him a tyrant. Period. Like we're already past that line. He tried to steal an election. He failed, but now he's a tyrant.
Well, you
You can't be like, oh no, he's not. Oh, it's subjective. Oh, it's just your opinion.
No.
He's a tyrant.
I agree.
He's trying to steal the election.
I found that disqualifying, but do you disagree that he was validly elected in 2024?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so he was validly elected in 2024.
The Americans elected a tyrant. Yes.
Okay, I have not seen him do anything in this term that remotely approaches the level of tyranny of the prescriptions that you're describing. Not even close.
This
So,
term.
like-
This term. After
Go
he
ahead, Dev.
failed to overthrow the election,
sure?
bro.
I don't
Evil.
think I've
These
seen
people are
any-
evil.
like, keep in mind.
I mean,
what-
so hold
They
on,
are.
just real quick, because now
They'll
we're
defend
getting into the
Gallows.
conversation
Remember, he
you
would,
didn't
and he
actually
probably
want to
already
have
has.
on
He probably
Twitter.
defended Trump
You
on all the
dodged it like
execution
5
tweets.
times
Those are
when I
that's
said, let's
Gallows.
talk
Those
about
are Gallows, by the
corruption,
way.
Because holy shit,
Are corruption and tyranny the same thing?
no, but they're linked for sure.
No,
they're for sure.
No,
they're
not.
actually rather distinct.
They're totally different.
Do you
Totally
think
different.
that there are
Semantics
tyrants who
war.
are completely incorruptible?
They
go hand in hand.
Retarded-
It is
retarded
possible.
semantics
It's not-
time.
they are not logically entailed or related.
Oh,
They are- I
what?
think-
Can you
Oh,
name
he's
one?
pulling a
I think they
Pisco
are
now.
often correlated.
After
No, I'd agree
insulting
with you, they're
Pisco, now
often
he's pulling a
correlated. My
Pisco.
point is, they are not the same thing. You could be tyrannical without being corrupt.
Can you name an example of this ever happening?
He's gonna just any autocratic regime? No. How can he be
Probably
tyrannical?
not. I mean, I think it's unlikely, but my point is they are not the same thing.
Sure. Just for my edification, would you say that lots of corruption
Wix
might be
audio.
a sign
I hate
that
Wix
someone
audio.
might be a tyrant?
And I hate
Like,
you
that
in my
could be
chat
something
because
like,
you've never
oh, there's
complained
a ton
to
of
him. Not
corruption
even
here.
one time about it.
Maybe
and I
we
hate
should
all of
look
you in my
into
chat.
whether this is
I hate
a
all of you. I
tyrant
hate
or
all of you. I hate all of you. I hate all of you.
No, not really.
No?
I mean, it would depend on what it depends on what they're doing with power. Like in the Teapot Dome scandal with Harding,
He misspoke.
like back in the day,
Humiliating.
right? There were obvious bribes. That was proven that there were bribes, and those bribes were used to secure, to use the power of the federal government to benefit private individuals. It was like case proven corruption, like proven at like a level of a court.
Go back and go through that
corruption.
door you just
I don't
unlocked.
think that Harding was being tyrannical, or that
how do I go
his,
back?
subordinates were being tyrannical. I think they were being corrupt. They are different things.
The issue is, and I'm coming at this from my realm of education because I was working on
How far back do I have to go?
Political history degree before dropping out to do YouTube. In fact, it was a master's degree, but
Not more like
so
a
from what I
masturbation
understand
degree.
of this is that when you have
Just kidding. Sorry.
corrupt politicians, corrupt leaders, that is inherently tyrannical, specifically because when they engage in their corruption, they are overriding certain, we might call them democratic or public, not just norms, but mechanisms, right? So, for example, the free market should function such that you have like buyers and sellers, you have contracts, you have bidders, and however, if you're in power and you're giving preferential contracts to your friends, for example, and you're not having an open bid on those contracts, that is both being corrupt.
Was it over
because
here?
You're benefiting your
Or
friends,
do I need to go like
and
way?
it's being tyrannical because you're undermining these public institutions. So these two things actually do historically go hand in hand. And Trump, by the way, is the most corrupt president of my lifetime,
True.
and it's not even fucking close.
But pause.
True. Pause.
See, the
No,
reason
hold on.
that I think
Pause.
there's a huge disconnect here is you could have a administration that's rife with corruption, and
They
they
wouldn't
do
be tyrannical.
nothing to change the way democracy functions. They do nothing to change the way the vote works, and then they eventually get voted out of power.
Oh, and it's all
they're
good.
not tyrannical; they're corrupt. When you're tyrannical, it means that you are removing from the people the ability to govern themselves, right? That's what tyrannical is. And I haven't seen the Trump administration do anything that remotely reaches the level of tyranny that you've described. The
Voting
thing that I
lists,
would agree with
requests,
you that approaches
FBI
this
going into
is the
states to take for their
East Wing
to take over their
scheme. I
voting
didn't vote
lists
for
like they
it.
did for Fulton
But
County,
in terms of this
foisting the
current
pardon on Tina
administration,
Peters,
this
who was
time around, I have
engaged in
not seen
election
anything
corruption.
like that. And because he's the
Telling
second term
the
president, I
USPS that they can't
don't
deliver
think
mail-in
that's going to happen
ballots
again.
unless they
But by
have
the way,
the states have already
if
given
it
their voter
does,
rolls to the
you
federal
can
government.
Rely on me showing up, breaking party lines, and being on your side because I am opposed to tyranny. So, but I like the
Retard,
fact
retard,
that-
retard,
I
retard.
guess the point I'm making is how could you possibly justify the level of tyranny you're talking about? And I've seen this very commonly on the left. Like people
the fuck is talking?
I remember I watched a Destiny stream and I was aghast when he said, like,
aghast.
the problem with the Trump administration is that they won the vote and they are legitimately elected, which is worse than Nazi Germany. Because at least in Nazi Germany, you could say
Correct.
that there was some kind of power grab. Here, the problem is that they got elected.
Yep.
And we need a way
That
to
we
find-
elected a
we need to
fucking
find way to
tyrant.
punish them, even if it's not legal to do so.
I just,
well,
just to
it's
hop
extra
on one
legal.
thing, I need to check my audio. People are saying I'm blowing them out when I talk. How is it, gang? Okay, sorry. Go. I didn't mean, but everyone's yelling at me at this point. So go ahead.
When I was that a hate brigade? Did I just hate
hope
brigade
that's
him?
improved.
Me
Yeah, I guess, so again, to circle back to the court packing topic, like if the point was that the Republicans did this thing with Garland and that was fucked up, so we should do the same thing back. I wouldn't
See,
even.
he wouldn't even be mad.
I don't think I'd even take that debate.
What if we did it twice? No, it's not back here. It's where you chase the stoat. Oh, fuck. So I need to go back the other way, or? What if we did it twice? He's okay with it happening one time because they'll still have a Supreme Court majority. That's the only reason why he's okay with it. It's so oh my God.
Prompt. I think I'd have to concede that one. Like I think, yeah, that probably would happen. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about something totally different.
So just that was very long, and there was like 3 distinct topics in there. And I really only have the third one still in my brain. Sorry. So you're basically saying that just so I understand what you said. You're saying that should the Democrats come into power and they hold the Senate, but it's still a Republican president, they should simply not vote on a new Supreme Court justice in the same way that McConnell did.
Yeah, I mean,
give them a taste of their own medicine.
Would it piss me off? Would I be like, shit, that's bad? Yeah, it would piss me off. I'd say that's bad, but like I think they're justified in doing it. I think the norm's been broken, and the thing about that, like, which is withholding advice and consent, is like the constitutional framework, is that it doesn't create open-ended court packing. Like the real danger of adding to the court is, let's say you guys pack to 13, and let's say you keep the Republicans out of power for like 20 years. When the Republicans get back in, they're going to pack to 20. And then when the Democrats get back in, they're going to repack. And when you do that 3, 4, 5 times, the entire concept of the rule of law, the entire concept of there being a governing constitution is basically gone. Like we're washing out the very fact that we have a constitution at all. And we're basically leaning into this glaring loophole where we can amend the Constitution from the bench in a way that we don't have political will to do through the proper amendment process. So I think that's very, very dangerous. But yeah, to answer your question, if the Democrats withheld
Corleone
advice and
Key.
consent from a Republican nominee for purely political
And
reasons,
sewer.
I don't think that would. I think that the toothpaste is out of the tube on that one, as it were.
Okay.
Okay. The issue is that it's no longer just about the one McConnell seat, because there's since been a downstream effect that's happened ever since then, right? So if you're okay with the Democrats refusing to vote on a single hypothetical seat, would you be okay with the Democrats refusing to vote on let's say 2 hypothetical seats?
Oh, no,
Or 3 hypothetical seats.
I'd go further. I don't think that norm exists anymore. I think that we can and should expect that if the president does
The president doesn't get to nominate a Supreme Court justice anymore? It's literally an express power in the Constitution. What are you talking about? And that's not a load-bearing thing? That the president just loses his Supreme Court? Bro, get me the fuck out of here. I can't. Okay. I will find this thing. Wait, there's multiple stash spots. Okay, that's okay. All right. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Be careful. Stay safe. I can't. This guy is so fucking... Oh my God, he's so fucking retarded. I'm crashing out. I'm having an unk moment. A major unk crash out moment. Be careful. Those are side mission related. Feel free to save it for hard mode. Well, I just want to know what door I open. Where the fuck the door is. I'll find it.